Now to an NBC 10 I-Team exclusive investigation. NBC 10 learns a Pawtucket police officer is under investigation after the mayor's office confirmed city gas may have been misused.
Well, Katie Davis broke the story, and she's on it till the last drop is accounted for.
The I-Team dug through 3 years worth of Pawtucket city gas records. We found some strange patterns involving a veteran Pawtucket police officer, and that officer confirms to me he's now under investigation by state police. Pawtucket's Public Works Yard. This is where city employees gas up before and after their shifts, filling the tank to make sure city cars are ready for duty. The gas paid for with tax dollars. The pumps monitored 24/7 by these surveillance cameras. Now, state police are investigating whether Pawtucket city employees pumped fuel for unauthorized use. The I-Team has learned investigators are focused inside Pawtucket's police department, with a veteran officer facing tough questions. Patrolman Ken Provost on the job more than 30 years. This video from 2008 when he invited NBC 10 to ride with him.
Showing 1074 active.
For every transaction at the city's pumps, an employee enters a personal code and a vehicle number. The I-Team pulled gas records for the past 3 years and crunched the numbers. The records show Provost often filled up this 2005 Ford Expedition before and after his shift, just like other officers on patrol. But the I-Team found he also appears to have gassed up as many as 3 times in the same shift, entering the same vehicle number each time. The problem? He pumped more gas than the Expedition could burn during the time period recorded. October 20th, 2010. The records show Provost pumped 35.5 gallons over 3.5 hours. The Expedition's tank, 28 gallons. Big, but not big enough. Then there's December 17th, 2010. Records show Provost pumped about 41 gallons in 4 hours. A few weeks later, January 11th, 2011, a similar pattern. 43 gallons in 3 hours. That's almost 15 gallons more than the tank can hold. At the Expedition's average fuel economy of 14 miles a gallon, that would be driving 555 miles just to burn the gas, roughly the distance from Pawtucket to Pittsburgh. A law enforcement source tells me a heavy patrol shift in Pawtucket would be about 50 miles. NBC 10 offered Officer Provost several opportunities to explain those gas transactions, and I asked him to sit down and do an interview with me. He declined to go on camera, but he told me that in his words, he's made mistakes and he intends to make things right with the city of Pawtucket. Provost claims some of the gas he pumped went into other city vehicles, even though records show the Expedition's vehicle number was entered. The I-Team has learned state police are reviewing surveillance video from the Public Works Yard. The video is kept on a hard drive and goes back about 90 days. With multiple camera angles, the video likely shows who was at the pumps and whether the vehicle on camera matches the vehicle number entered. I also spoke with the Pawtucket mayor's office about this, and no one will go on camera while the investigation is ongoing. The public safety commissioner does tell me he's following the investigation closely, and if any fuel was misused, the city wants the person responsible held accountable.
New details on an I-Team exclusive about police investigating one of their own. A Pawtucket officer has now been arrested. This after it's revealed there's something missing from city gas stations. Right now, the I-Team's Katie Davis has new information on the story she broke.
Officer Ken Provost is off the job here at the Pawtucket Police Department on paid administrative leave, now charged with stealing gasoline from the city. His arrest comes after an NBC 10 investigation that revealed strange patterns at city gas pumps. And now we're learning Provost had an ethically questionable business relationship with the city going back years. He's been patrolling the streets of Pawtucket for 30 years. But on Wednesday, Officer Ken Provost was suddenly on the other side of the law, arrested at state police headquarters. Provost turned himself in and was charged with stealing close to $700 worth of gas from Pawtucket city pumps.
It's obviously very distressing when someone who's given that responsibility, who takes an oath of obeying the Constitution and following the ordinances of the city of Pawtucket, breaks that trust.
Pawtucket Public Safety Commissioner Tony Pyre says police started investigating after a city employee noticed suspicious behavior at the pumps. When detectives reviewed surveillance video, they realized they were looking at Officer Provost, caught on tape. That's when the city asked state police to take over.
He put it in a personal car, he put it in a gas can. He would actually enter the same vehicle number every time.
Major Todd Catlow says Provost's arrest is based on gas transactions in 2013, but records obtained by the I-Team reveal a strange pattern going back at least 3 years. The records show Provost often filled up this 2005 Ford Expedition before and after his shift, just like other officers on patrol. But the I-Team found he also appears to have gassed up as many as 3 times in the same shift, entering the same vehicle number each time. The problem? He pumped more gas than the Expedition could burn during the time period recorded. But the city's surveillance video only goes back about 90 days.
The charges that stem from what we could prove, what we have probable cause to prove.
And there's another part of the story, one that hasn't been told yet. Provost is a licensed car dealer in Massachusetts who bought and sold police vehicles for the city for at least 10 years before his arrest. Records obtained by NBC 10 reveal he bought 6 cars for the police department in the past 3 years alone. The total, more than $100,000 worth of vehicles, including undercover cars and cars driven by his superiors. None of the vehicles was put out for bid, which is required for purchases over $5,000.
The city's investigating him, but he's also doing business with the city.
Well, and of course you're dealing with a 30-year veteran of the police department.
The city says the unusual arrangement saved money on dealer fees, and Officer Provost didn't profit from buying the cars.
Today, do you feel like it's a good ethical move?
It's certainly worth the second look at it.
Provost told me he's cooperating fully with the gas investigation, but declined to comment further on Thursday. Pyre says city leaders won't just prosecute the officer for the misdemeanor. They will also move to have him fired.
That's what our charge is, to protect the best interests of the public, and I think that they would want us to proceed aggressively and appropriately.
Before he could be fired, Officer Provost has the right to a police officer's Bill of Rights hearing. Like any law enforcement officer in Rhode Island, he would have a chance to present his side of the case and fight for his job. Katie Davis, NBC 10 News, Pawtucket.
An NBC 10 I-Team exclusive. A local cop says, yes, he stole gasoline from the city. Ken Provost recently retired and just got sentenced to a year's probation this morning. And he'll have to pay the city of Pawtucket back. He spoke exclusively with the I-Team's Katie Davis outside court.
He spent more than 30 years as a Pawtucket police officer, but patrolman Ken Provost's career ended in controversy last month when he retired after he was arrested for stealing from city gas pumps.
It was a roller coaster, so I'm just glad it's over. We'll move on.
The roller coaster ride began when a fellow city employee reported suspicious behavior at the pumps. Soon, state police were on the case, reviewing surveillance video from the Public Works yard, and so was the I-Team. We pulled records from Pawtucket city pumps and found strange patterns involving Officer Provost going back at least 3 years. City gas logs show he entered the vehicle code for this Ford Expedition as many as 3 times per day and pumped up to 43 gallons in a single shift. The SUV's tank just 28 gallons. To burn enough gas in one shift, he'd have to drive 555 miles, the distance from Providence to Pittsburgh.
Is more gas missing?
No.
This is the end of the investigation. He's pled nolo contendere. There's nothing further to be done from this point.
Provost now collects about $39,000 a year in pension payments, plus another $18,000 for health care. The city also cut him a check for close to $47,000 in unused sick and vacation time.
I take the gas in the first place.
Well, again, it was a mistake and won't happen again.
But while the criminal case is over, the city's own investigation may not be.
I spoke with Pawtucket Public Safety Commissioner Tony Pyre on Friday. He tells me the city may hire an independent auditor to go back through those gas records for possible action in civil court. Any evidence that's uncovered would also be turned over to the city council to consider action on Provost's pension. Katie Davis, NBC 10 News.